Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have a Raw review here from the 27th of October. Honestly, just kind of one of those Raws that I figured was going to be somewhat of like a bigger story push one, but it kind of just felt like, hey, let's just get this wrapped up and get ourselves to Saturday Night Main Event. And sometimes that's not necessarily bad. In this case, it was a mixed bag, so we'll jump into it. So obviously, we started off the show with CM Punk and Jey Uso having battle of the words for their match upcoming Saturday for the World Heavyweight Championship. Honestly, they do have a pretty decent in-ring chemistry to, go back and forth and stuff. Jay didn't have to say much because, CM Punk at least has the word, pretty much everything on the promo stuff that just down pat that he can go out there and pretty much have a good promo with almost anybody. So that definitely helps. It was, decent start to the show. Nothing really of note, obviously they're playing up the whole Jimmy thing that Jay eliminated his own brother to get there and stuff like that, but honestly, we kind of get like by the end of the show, it just kind of feels like, oh, it's okay, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing with this whole storyline and stuff, and it's just honestly not fun for me. I just haven't really cared too much about this whole entire thing. I just realized these are out of order, but it's just I don't know, man. Like some of these stuff is just the World Heavyweight Championship really does need to be on CM Punk, but I really do feel like they might pull the trigger on Jey Uso again. And I just think it's bad. A heel Jey Uso does not seem like a good idea to have a championship on. So I guess we'll see what they do. This segment I'll put up in the A. Not too bad. Then we had Penta versus Rusev for the number one contendership of the Intercontinental Championship. This is probably the most cookie cutter storyline. We knew one cost the other one cost the other person, and they were going to get their match, and then something would happen to make it a triple threat at Saturday Main Event. The match itself, it was okay. I mean, there wasn't much of anything. It only lasted about 10 minutes, and then it got cut up by the Los Americanos taking them out. Uh, Kind of honestly, if they would have had one extra week, they could have really made this storyline a lot better because they could have had Penta and Rusev having to tag together against the Los Americanos and stuff like that. It just kind of feels like they dropped the ball, and maybe they'll still go to that feud afterwards or something, but I don't really feel like they, need to after the title match. But I guess we'll have that match at Saturday Night Main Event. Honestly, not really pumped for the match. This little match itself wasn't anything too crazy, so the whole thing I'll just kind of give a C. Then we get to Roxanne Perez versus Nikki Bella. Basically, last week it was Roxanne versus Stephanie. Stephanie won. They tried to beat her up afterwards. Nikki Bella made the save. Really just kind of a pairing that they were going to do. I really thought they were going to lead up to Stephanie and Nikki versus the Judgment Day at Saturday Night Main Event, but I think they're going to hold on to that and either build war games from that. Hopefully not, but they might. And they might just have a random Raw tag team match. I mean, I think it's the natural thing unless they go like Nikki Bella, Roxanne, or Nikki Bella, Raquel, and then go Stephanie versus Raquel for the title. I think that would have also been a fitting match they could have done here. Or like for Saturday Night Main Event. I really feel like they kind of dropped the ball on this whole thing. I think they're letting it slow burn a little bit, but it's not a storyline that needs a lot. The match itself, I thought was pretty decent. Nikki Bella didn't do too bad compared to some of the other matches she had. I think Roxanne wrestled a lot around her, so I think I'd give it a B. I feel like a lot of it came down to Roxanne wrestling her ass off around her. Nothing against Nikki Bella, it's just the two styles doesn't, in the just between like the diva style and what now modern women's wrestling is, it's just it doesn't always fit. And this match is kind of like that prime example. Then we had completely this is the other way around. Just crazy match. Braun Breaker versus LA Knight. Why have LA Knight lose here clean? Like he relatively speaking, he just lost clean. Like Bronson Reed made a little bit of a noise out there. He attacked Bronson Reed. So a little bit of a distraction, but it wasn't even like that distraction went into the wind. It was like a little bit later. This is just a crazy thing. Like I know you have to feed something to Braun Breaker to make him bigger and better and like look more dominant. But there's a million other people on the roster where if somebody with LA Knight that's kind of like fitting in that middle of the road person that they probably are going to rear up into like getting to a, a bigger status to go against whoever has the world heavyweight title to like hold it off towards WrestleMania. This is a terrible random loss to take. The match itself I thought was okay. The ending sequence was pretty decent. So I'd probably give that part just a B. But overall, I thought it was just kind of crazy for storyline to have LA Knight lose. Then we had some Judgment Day stuff in the background that eventually led to Sheamus and JD McDonough having a match. Honestly, this match was not really that bad. It was, JD McDonough, I think, has really good in ring skill. Sheamus has that bruiser style, but it's very entertaining, and you kind of get behind him and stuff. He ended up losing by shillelagh to the head that Finn got off before the ref could see it. I think overall, I put it into B. I think it was the best match, right as we were talking, that it was the best match of the night. And then we get to the main event, which was a pleasant surprise to actually get a women's match as the main event, and especially a women's tag match. And yeah, it was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, the champions, versus Bayley and Lyra. Honestly, I think they cooked. I think they should have gave them a little bit more time. I think I was a little like, man, we had a no contest in that first match and that still took 10 minutes. They might as well have cut some time off of that and added it to this match. I think like a 17-18 minute match would have really got them into that groove. Obviously, they don't try to do that, but I feel like my thing is when you have like kind of a longer match, then when the other team loses, it doesn't look that bad. And then they had the whole part at the end was the Kabuki Warriors attacking Charlotte Flair. I mean, they attacked everybody, but that kind of is mute when it comes to that because they just had to rush it. They should have just gave that more time for that whole entire segment. And maybe we'll get a Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I think the crazy part about that match was something that Charlotte Flair said in the back that they have defended the titles almost as much as any other tag team, only on 85 days, is insane. Like, that is such an insane stat, but it makes sense. So it's kind of crazy, but I think it's kind of a cool thing altogether. I would put this match up in A. I think I enjoyed it a lot. I don't think the wrestling was technically probably an A level match, maybe in the B, but I think the story and everything about like just their chemistry inside the ring was just an enjoyable match, and it was a good main event. I'm glad that we've actually had something different because a lot of these main events and different shows and different things haven't been that great, so I was pleasantly surprised. But yeah, if you guys enjoy these Raw reviews, we do them they come out every Tuesday. I've been trying to do the other shows, but Raw consistently and Evolve consistently will always be on the channel. So if you like either show, I really like Evolve. I watch every product, but sometimes it's hard to like sit there and then get the review off because I get off at 1 in the morning, so it makes it a little bit hard after streaming than at like 4 in the morning to record something. So yeah, until next time, this has been Japan. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.